pretty amazing that we only have one diaphragm. That is a God thing, people. That's what that is. So, oh look, they even left the old one in there for us. It's all crusty. No, that's garbage. So, we have our new two-piece diaphragm. This little piece of metal here, we're going to get this thing lined up where it needs to be. Okay, so now you got this little plate deal, and you put the spring on, and you put the plate, and you hold it with that finger, like that. Now, this little oblong area right there, it's different than all the others because it needs to be a little long right there. Make sure that you don't put the round one there because it will cause it to leak. Line this up and move it just a little bit at a time so that it doesn't rip it. If you do rip it, it's not the end of the world. Just go get another one. It will tear coming over these threads, so be very careful. Alright, so now you got these three little fittings right here, and these are what feed the gas to these accelerator jets through these three ports, 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to put them on like that. When you're getting the little brass pieces to go through this gasket, do it gently so you don't rip the gasket. There, that's on. Now you got your big spring, which you got three little deals to hold it on there, which is pretty nice. The bump is going to go out towards the cam right here. Okay. So once again, use care when putting it on. It is pretty generic on which way it goes on, so just stick it on there. But once again, be delicate. Lock washers on. Now if you get into this and you figure, or you decide this is too much of a daunting task and you don't want to do it, and you want to send me your carve and I'll rebuild it, I don't mind doing that at all. Just send me a private message and I'll send you the shipping information. double check the bottom before you snug it up to make sure your gaskets are all good, not pinched or anything like that. You don't want pinched gaskets. Just snug these up, crisscross pattern. Alright, so I just took it out and filled up the bowl, which actually it only feeds from this bowl, and tried it, and all 3 jets sprayed beautifully, so we're back in business. Now what you're going to want to do is install your floats. Remember, tab goes up. Take your bolt, dish it through here real nice. And just snug it up. That one's been boogered up, so it's a little bit difficult. Other one, tab up. Gotta make sure you get it all lined up. If you feel resistance when you're putting this in, stop. Look what you're doing, because last thing you want to do is mess up the body of this thing. These things are retarded expensive. Snug it up. Okay, we got the float in, got the jets in, got the accelerator in. We redid the accelerator pump diaphragm. Now we're going to have to replace these a little later on. But we can go ahead and put the top back on it. Now, set this to the side for a second. Let's look at the top piece. Everything looks pretty good on the top piece. You got some nasty old gas here from the leak, so you want to clean that off as best you can. Get real nice and clean. Make sure that the gasket surface doesn't have any scratches or burrs or nicks or anything like that, which it shouldn't, but you never know. Alright, now the reassembly. Make sure your gasket's dry too. If I had the kit to do it, I would replace this gasket because it got wet, and just because that's what you do when you rebuild a carburetor. But I don't have the gasket. The customer doesn't have the funds for it, so we're just going to make this work. So, next step is you're going to put this piece directly on here. These are your valves. Don't forget about those. Make sure those are free, which looks like this one's sticking a little bit. That valve's sticking too much for me. This one's good. Nope. So I'm going to go take these and clean these out real quick. Okay, I just took these and sprayed these out, and they're not sticking anymore. So that's good. Now, set it on back on here, like that. Alright, now, if you remember from earlier, this one right here had this little piece for the spring. Don't forget about that. Go ahead and put all the others on. And I'm going to pause the video, because this is going to take a little bit. Alright, so at this point, we're going to tighten all the screws up equally. Kind of like a tire. You're putting on a tire, you go crisscross. You're going to want to snug them down, and then you need to look up the torque spec and torque them to the correct torque spec. Now, I didn't do that because I've done this for a long time, and I pretty much know where it is and how to do it. So after this, you attach your springs and throw your top back on, and you're good to go as far as putting it in the car. I had a video on how to do this, the rest of this video, but somehow it got deleted since it's been a year since I did this. So grab it, put it in the car, hook it up, you should be good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any other questions, anything else you need me to do, once again, if you want me to do your car, private message me and I'll take care of it for you, alright?